Greetings and salutation. This is Andreas, Pop Culture Guy. I'm your moderator tonight for the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 5, live recap slash breakdown. Yeah, it's going to be a really good night for that. So, it's a really good episode we have to discuss. So, let me introduce no, everyone here. So, first off, Jeff has True Knowledge, the co-host of MCU Bleeding Edge. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm wonderful, sir. I'm very thankful to be here with you and Cyber tonight to talk about this episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms because things are so positive in our world compared to the world that people live in this show. We're very lucky and blessed. I'm very blessed to be here, sir.
Yes, very true. I am definitely blessed.
If I lived in the world of Game of Thrones or 97 Kingdoms or some shit, there's a chance I might not be alive from week to week to be able to be on a live stream with you guys. You know what I'm saying? People
Yes,
just die in their world of the show.
yeah. To be honest, there's no way I will survive the universe of Game of Thrones or the Hunger Games, all
It's
that.
it's a brutal fucking world, bro. There's a reality where you could just die. Any given day almost as like a reality. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, and, oh, by the way, happy Ash Wednesday, everyone. If you're, Catholic like me, happy Ash Wednesday. So next person, Cyberneticshark himself, the co-host as well as the MCU Billy Inch. How you doing, sir?
I'm just hunky dory here to talk about a Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yes.
Cyber, if they had one of those shows, like Wife Swap or whatever, if they had that for content creators or whatever, I would totally sign you up for that, sir. So you could go do a swap and be a co-host with some random fucking podcast or whatever. I'm sure you'd love that experience.
Oh yeah, that sounds just absolutely fantastic, sir.
Yes, sir. I know how much you love new people and meet new people, so I know you'd be right about all about that shit.
You know it.
Yes. All right. Let's get into this episode 5, titled "In the Name of the Mother." This is the 5th episode of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, season 1. This is kind of the penultimate episode before the finale next week, which is kind of crazy, folks. This is we're almost wrapping up the show, which is kind of crazy. So let's get into it. So let me start with you, Cyber. What you thought about this episode? Did you like it, dislike it? Go ahead and tell me about your thoughts on this overall.
So as I mentioned previously in our recaps, I've been really enjoying the show, and this episode was a decent episode as well, and definitely I enjoyed it. Overall. I was not a huge fan of them deciding to go in the middle of a fight and decide to show a backstory. I totally feel that kind of took away from what could have been a really great battle that we could have gotten more of. Other than that, I thought it was a really solid episode and a great addition to the series that has really proven to be a really well done and overall just a really great series. And I've been enjoying it tremendously. And this episode was really great. Lots of ups and downs in this episode, and but overall, I think that it was a well done episode that I found very entertaining, very interesting, and nice to see a little backstory that really kind of helped us into more insight into Dunk and into his surrogate father that he had that was the knight. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well.
I agree. Yeah, we'll discuss this later. I thought it was a good episode. But I felt like the flashback was kind of weird to do like before the finale. So we'll get into it later. But I agree with your point, Cyber. Jeff, your opinion on the episode in general? Do you like it, dislike it? Go ahead.
Oh, okay, sir. Can I also talk about the show too as a whole?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Saber did it.
I just want to make sure, sir, because you are the moderator and all that, So I
yeah,
just, I don't want to go beyond the scope here of the crowd. So yeah, yeah, episode 5 is really good. I mean, what can I say? Look, we've already established in our other recaps that overall, right? I think we all would agree, probably maybe to some extent or to some degree differently, but overall, would all agree that Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a very, very good TV show. Overall, just plain old great TV show. To watch. Very, very entertaining. So, episode 5, not surprisingly, it's just another wonderful but short. I will say, very short again episode of TV. That is very entertaining and continues to demonstrate the consistency of the show, episode to episode so far. In terms of being high quality, high end television. So far, all the way through. During the show. Season 1's been really good. Episode 5 is I was a little bit shocked that it wasn't a longer episode. I really honestly felt in my heart like based off my experience with television in general and HBO overall too, that we were due or going to get for sure almost a longer episode that was longer than what we've basically gotten in the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes lately. That kind of would break us out of this 30-minute, 35-minute sort of mold that we've been getting in our episodes with this show recently. But they stuck with that, and I'm okay with it. I would have loved another 20 minutes of episode in episode 5. That would have been spectacular. The show is so good that I have to imagine another 20 minutes of episode 5 would have just been great, just wonderful. Just like a bonus almost to the experience. Audience wise. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is like groundbreaking in any way as a show so far or anything. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites or anything in season 1 so far, or anything like that. I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't, but for a show in its first season, a new show, that's out there, it's definitely very, very positive, experience watching it. It's very entertaining. It makes a very, fun, interesting, time period of history, that they're working with right now in this show. They're really pulling it off and selling it, this, medieval knight, sort of, realms of the knights, sort of, period of history that they're depicting, in this, sort of show in the Game of Thrones universe, right? When done well, it's a great, sort of genre, with film and TV, it can be really, really great when it's done well. Some movies, and TV shows pull it off well, and some other ones don't, and they're fucking terrible, So this is not a guaranteed type of genre or whatever to go into with TV or film, but I like what HBO does when it comes to how they depict this sort of historical period almost, right? They do a very, what I would imagine, I believe at least, is an authentic, version, I guess, of a depiction of what maybe it would have sort of actually looked like back in the day, So I'm very impressed by Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I guess my only complaints would just be that I would have loved a longer season episode wise overall. Another 2 episodes would have been really great. I'm not a big fan of 6 episode seasons. Even in season 1, I don't like it. It's too short, honestly, for me. How can you really fully invest into a television show in only 6 episodes in a season? It's hard. for any show to pull that off, really, honestly, no matter how good it is. So, yeah, episode 5 is great, Andres. And, I'm very high on Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I just think that, all these really short episodes they've been putting out, and it being its first season and a new television show and all that, and the sort of show it is, I don't think it's going to do super well award-wise or anything like that, or even be viewed at all, in the industry or anything like that as a, super popular 2026 TV show or anything like that. I don't feel like it's going to, end up like that, but for people that are watching it, and I'm sure everybody overall pretty much is probably enjoying it, to some extent. And there's really not a lot to complain about or talk shit about with this show at all, So yeah, sir. Episode 5 is another really good episode of TV.
Yeah, jumping back to you, Cyber, because I like you brought up the episode count. Cyber, do you have the same opinion? Do you like that this season was 6 episodes, or do you prefer that this show went for the 10 episode count that we usually get with these HBO shows? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would have loved it to have more episodes than 6. 6 is pretty small. It doesn't really give you enough time to really bring to life everything that you could for the season and also for your characters and stuff like that. I think even 10 is too small. I mean, I think a minimum of 20 episodes is what they should be at, especially if they're only half an hour long episodes. 20 should be the minimum. And I always thought it was so weird when we got away from doing, 20 episodes in a series in the last, decade or so. And I'm like, because I was used to that growing up in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. We had 20 episode TV shows. That's what it was. 25, 26, sometimes 30, so, it was kind of weird when they started doing that. And I understood when they started doing that with, 45-minute to an hour long shows. I get that, maybe pare that down to 10, 15 episodes. Yeah, most definitely. But I prefer, when there's longer and more episodes to watch because I want more of it. This is just giving me a taste, and it's kind of like, here's your taste, and then fuck you. It's kind of with these 6 episodes. So I was kind of like, oh, well, fuck you too, HBO. But anyways, yeah, so I definitely would have liked to have seen more like 10 would have been better, I feel.
Yeah, I'm saying with you guys, I like the show. I will say this right now. It's not my favorite of 2026. But that's kind of the design of the show. It's not supposed to be, like the other Game of Thrones related shows that we've been reviewing or seen before. Yeah, I don't like. It's kind of weird. I like the pace of this show. Like this show hasn't had the problem like some of the Disney Plus shows that have these 6 episodes. Like at least that's the good thing about the show. The show has done a good job of pacing itself as a Game of Thrones show. But I kind of wish we had more episodes because I was like, if you're going to do the flashback scene that we got here, with Dunk and like how he met with the master, all that. Like it could have been nice to have it in like a 8 or 6, episode, in a 10 episode run or 13 episodes, right? Like I like the BBC 13 episode Doctor Who count that I like because that's good enough episode. 13 episodes is my count, and I agree with Cyber. I do miss the 22 or 24 episode count the networks do usually with sitcoms or or dramas like NBC or ABC and all that. But yeah, but we're not in that era now. Everyone just wants short episodes. But at least the show.
Andres, do you mind if I opine, sir? Since
Yeah, sure.
You went to different territory or whatever. I want to bounce off of Cyber.
Yeah,
I think that we're all pretty much. I think overall, I don't really like to speak for either one of you at all or put words in your mouths. But I'd like to think that I know you both well enough to guesstimate at least that we're all pretty much on the same page when it comes to things like episode counts and things like that when it comes to TV, and I think we all overall, really honestly don't care for this 6 episode structure that like you said, Andres, that Disney Plus does and uses, for like the MCU, right? I'm not a fan of it at all. With that's one of my biggest complaints with the Marvel Disney Plus TV series is the 6 episode seasons. I hate it. It's just overall, honestly, I think you guys would agree that when it comes to the overall level or the element of the ability to really get into a TV show, deeply and really really get the most out of a season of a good TV show, you need a standard normal sort of episode count from season to season, to at least for that element to pull it off, if you want that sort of experience for people in the audience, it's just tough to really get invested to the level that you end up getting invested with something like Game of Thrones after a season, of that show, right? It's hard with 6 episodes of a show like A Night of Seven Kingdoms to to just develop that level of experience, I guess, right? With a show, it's 6 episodes doesn't give you enough, I think, overall. It's not enough. And hats off to Apple TV. I love that they're doing 10 episode seasons of their shows. Andres, we weren't able to figure out the other night if that's really honestly their standard mode with their TV. We weren't able to actually see evidence to show that that's the case with Apple TV.
Sorry to interrupt. It varies. I checked. It
Yeah,
varies. Some shows have the 10,
yeah,
and
that's
some of
what-
them have 8.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It was it varied. Yeah, from
Yeah,
from show to show, right? But again, hats off for at least having some shows doing 10 episode seasons. I think that is honestly the best way to go about it. If you're gonna do these high end, premiere television type of HBO level type TV shows, these high end TV shows, if you're gonna pull them off, you gotta do 8, 10 episode seasons, man, at least. Shows like The Sopranos, set that mark, that tone, with the 10 episode count seasons, of that show, sort of, right? And set a standard sort of with that, that number of episodes, I think should be continued and carried on. Honestly, I'm hating it overall. No matter what platform you're talking about, what service or what studio is making the shows these days, if they're only doing 6 episodes in seasons, I'm just not a big fan of it overall. I don't understand it, honestly. It just seems like lazy to me, almost. Or like a pussy move almost, to only produce 6 episodes of a new TV show in a season. What are you afraid of? You can't even make 8 episodes of a show. So that's all, sir.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's with the 6 episode thing, because I remember this with Secret Invasion, is that it's so much cheaper to do just 6 episodes because,
wait, Andres, how can you say that, sir? Secret Invasion cost $250 million.
Well, that's before the reshoots. Just
Now,
remember, they had
sir, the budget was over $200 million before the reshoots.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for 6 episodes of a TV show, sir. Do you know how many TV shows would love to have got $200 million for a season?
Secret Invasion wants that, but anyway, no. that was Disney's like mindset. They thought that like making their Disney Plus shows with the 6 episodes.
Sir, say what you want about the show, about those shows. Disney, Marvel Studios, whoever invested a lot of money into all those TV shows. They always had high budgets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. I just wanted to point that out. You know that.
Yeah,
we've talked. You know what I'm saying? The budgets on those shows are a lot higher than your other TV shows that you see.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but Marvel stuff is expensive to produce, sir.
Yeah, I know that. Anyway, let's get into the recap, folks. Let's do this right now. All right. So the beginning of this episode, we start with. Well, first up, I gotta say, I was very happy we start with the trial of the 7 beginning and like seeing like the full action before, Dunk gets kind of knocked off from his horse. So that was really cool. I thought the like cinematography here was really great. The action here was really awesome. I was not expecting that. Like after the like, was it Arion Targaryen like knocking Dunk off his horse? We cut into a flashback of Dunk's childhood. So we see him as like a thief with his friend Rafe, right? Who like scavenged from a they were like scavenging around the battlefield, to like get some money out of it, right? So they returned to the fleet bottom in King's Landing. So I guess we're in King's Landing in this part, and they pickpocket from one of the city watchmen, because his name is a little hard to pronounce, but like anyway, they pickpocket one of the city watchmen, and then Dunk and his like friend were attempting to buy passes to the free cities in Esseros, which was really cool. They did that, and then but unfortunately they could not afford it, and so unfortunately they need to find another way to get more money to free away from Esseros. So let me stop there. Let me start with you, Cyber. What do you thought about this beginning? The beginning part of the trial, and then the flashback of seeing Dunk's childhood, and the end point here is when they were going into that like bar to like get passes to Esseros, but they cannot afford it because the guys say you need more than that. That's the end point. Go ahead.
All right. So, I mean, the episode starts off really strong, with the starting off with the battle and everything and battle going on. And I really enjoyed that. I love that. But then when he gets knocked out and it goes to a flashback, I was kind of like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is kind of stupid. I'm like, what? And it goes back to him being a child, like a teenager with his teenage girlfriend. And I'm like, what the shit is this? And showing them like scavenging dead soul, royalty and shit like that to scavenge money and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Kind of showing Dunk before he gets with the his surrogate father there, and I mean, this girl that he has there it's an interesting kind of take. Like he had like kind of a a childhood love that he's in love with. And I could see why he felt the way about the girl in previous episodes, because this girl looked very similar to that girl. So we kind of get that idea now from this, why Dunk had an affinity for that girl.
Yeah, I agree.
And, so I mean, we have kind of that backstory, him kind of, scraping and scromping, which we all kind of knew that he was a scraper and scromper, before he even was with the night guy. And, I mean, it kind of shows that what that kind of was like with this girl that he knows and that he's in love with. And, they end up, are able to get some stuff from these dead, royalty people, and able to turn some of it in to get some silver, and they start making their way. They almost get pickpocketed. Thankfully, they're smart enough. They don't get pickpocketed by that asshole dude. And, that guy they run into. And then they go and try to get tickets. And of course, they're told you don't have enough. And he basically says, unfortunately, a lot of people are trying to get out of here. So we have to up the price. You're kind of like, isn't that the way with everything and any time frame? Like I can understand this. This is frustrating and ridiculous. And, So I think, it starts off really strong, and then we get into this kind of backstory, which is okay. It's not horrible, but at the same time, I feel like we should have seen more of the action and battle going on. It should have just been pure action this whole episode. And it was kind of sad that they decided to do this backstory here. And that, like I said, it's not horrible, but I think that this section here was definitely my least favorite part of the flashback. And, then the remainder, I think, is really when it gets the best. So, strong start, goes downhill a little bit, but overall a decent section.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff, your thoughts on the beginning? The end point is where they were trying to get free passes to Astros, but they cannot afford it. Go ahead. That's the end point.
Yeah, look, hey, Andres, I think that you would probably agree that we all really love really well done flashback scenes, in TV shows and movies. When they're done well, they're great. And they can really add something fun and different, to a TV show. When they're inserted and done well. Honestly, there's very few TV shows out there that aren't improved or where it's not positive, for them to add quality flashback scenes here or there. It's always a bonus, I think, for a show to add them or to go in that direction. But at the same time, there's of course lots of really entertaining TV shows and stuff that don't ever use flashbacks at all, and never have them in the show. And that's fine. You don't have to have them. But I thought that it was actually a sort of kind of to bounce off of Cyber earlier, talking about the episodic, or the episode to episode sort of level or aspect of 97 Kingdoms. I think from that perspective, it's a very brave and very intelligent and creative move and decision to go in that direction and to have sort of half episode 5 be almost all flashback, right? I think it was very, very genius move from a creative standpoint for the season to go in that direction for episode 5, hats off to whoever is producing this show this season, because that decision was very, very smart, and it really worked well for the show. I thought for them to do that in episode 5 and start off episode 5 in that way. I thought that was a really bonus addition to the season for them to dig into Donk's backstory some, and give us in the audience, more of a more detail, more backstory, more about Donk's background and character, in the show, and I think it's probably was all positive for all of us, that are here tonight. Them going with the flashback deal in this episode. Great way to start the episode overall. I honestly love it. When shows either start right off or jump right into flashbacks right off the bat in episodes. It's really cool when people go in that direction to do that. I love it. And honestly, if this was a different television show, maybe, I can see how it could be not so positive, even maybe negative for the show, to go in that direction with a 5th episode in a 6 episode season of a new show. I can see how it could go wrong, going in that direction, with extended flashback scenes like that. But it fit great. It fit very well, very smoothly. in season 1 of Night of the Seven Kingdoms for them to go in that direction. And I loved this sort of newish, different sort of element, or sort of version, that we got in episode 5, by having, these extended flashbacks that we got, Andres, that you mentioned. It was a really, really fun, change for episode 5. They have not relied on a lot of heavy flashback scenes so far in this season, in this show. They have not done a lot of that. I thought that was a brilliant move to give us that really super, informative and entertaining and well acted and like well done, sort of flashback, scenes. They were great. And those child actors in episode 5 were outstanding. I thought their acting was great. Was very realistic, very well done acting, very good child acting, I thought. The kid that portrayed Donk as a boy in episode 5 was really solid. I thought his work in episode 5 was great. It was he pulled off a very believable version of Donk, or Dunk, Sir Duncan, as a child. I liked it. I thought it was very connective to adult Donk, and it felt very similar to his adult Donk version of character. And all I can honestly really say is just that I cannot say I'm a big fan of how like hard like the world is for kids on this show. It's brutal, man. It's just like Game of Thrones, like the life that kids have, if they're not royalty, or rich in this world that they live in this show is very, very, very depressing, and full of like a lot of hardship and sadness and depressing events happening, and so as much as I loved episode 5 and I loved these flashback scenes in episode 5 and this beginning of episode 5, I also found it very sad, and it made me feel very like let down almost, and like I felt really bad almost for our main child characters in this episode. I hated seeing that girl get her throat slashed. That's never fun to see. It was very, very, very brutal and sad to watch.
That's later on, sir.
Okay, my bad. All right, that's fine. I'll stop right there. So the depiction of young love that they pulled off in this episode, that whole trope that's typically done more in film, but it's also been done in television before. I enjoyed that, and they did a really good job with that. That for the little bit of time they had to work with, those two child actors pulled off that that sort of relationship between Donk and that girl very well. And I thought that was a very entertaining, interesting aspect of episode 5 was that that love between Donk and the girl. Goddamn. I would have never fucking wanted to be a child in the world they live in a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, bro. Fuck that. It is a rough existence as a child living in this world they live in, where being raped, or fucking killed or whatever is like a regular fucking occurrence or event that can happen to you on any given day. Randomly can happen to you, and that's just a reality of your existence. Bro, that is a depressing life to live, being in fear and shit all the time, as a child, right? But I don't want to get, again, I don't want to get super deep or whatever, or overly emotional about it. But there is that element for me, or that aspect when it comes to some of these HBO shows that they put out. Some of their depictions of violence, and sexual violence and things like that when it comes to women and children and old people and stuff like that. It's a little fucking intense, bro. It's a little depressing at times. I as much as I dug and really enjoyed the scenes in episode 5 that we're discussing, I also felt very bad for those kids. For real. Like, I felt bad for them because that's a hard life to live as a kid, man.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, we'll get into the girl, getting murdered by the Watchman.
Oh yeah, my bad, sir, my bad. We will,
No,
but
no.
no, honestly, it really makes you it makes you appreciate the life that we have in 2026. The kids, nowadays, their lives they have. In contrast to like what it was like, and living in a world like that, like Game of Thrones or 97 Kingdom. That's a hard life they live in this world on the show.
Yeah, no.
But kids, some kids really fucking struggle in this world.
They do. That's the unfortunate part. In this world. All right. Let's get into that section of the episode because, yeah. So after they, failed to like get passes, right? They go out, and then one of the watchmen corners them and kind of take their money because he realized that he got what's the word, pickpocket. And then of course the murder was really awful, but I gotta say the girl was kind of really dumb to do, like, steal his dagger, because he was gonna notice that no matter what, right? And he does. And so after she, steals the dagger, he notices right away and then slits her throat, which was really brutal. I did not expect that. So her friend, Duncan's friend, it collapsed and split pleased to death, which was really awful. And then the master that we've been, hearing, was it Arlen? Right, he emerges from the like bar. He kills, the two watchmen, like saving Dunk. And I thought it was a good scene. I will say that, it was kind of convenient that the master was here, but then it makes kind of sense because the master was very, like, he's not your typical like knight, as we've seen before in fantasy shows or movies, that matter. So like after being saved, right, Dunk follows him on the travels, and like he gets sick, and then after that, I think the master takes him in and gave him water. So, and then after that, we cut back to the present day, right? Dunk duels the Targaryen and on the foot until both men collapses from injury. And then after Dunk, I'll probably go into the finale here because it's pretty quick. By the way, I was shocked that it was this quick. After Dunk falls unconscious, right? The Targaryen like declares him dead, and then Egg begs Dunk to get up, and then the crowd chants for Dunk as he stands, and then Dunk and the Targaryen resume their duel until Dunk gets upper hand. By the way, him getting beaten by the Targaryen was really brutal. Like, he was getting stabbed, and then he got stabbed to his hand, which was always like really awful every time you see that in a movie or a TV show. And like he like, yeah, you guys had to tell me this. Like, how his eye got like swollen like that. Like I was like, did the sword like hit the helmet really hard and get his like right eye to be swollen? That was really really bad. But anyway, of course Duncan gets the upper hand, beats him brutally, and then the Targaryen like yields, aka gives up, and he withdraws his accusation. And so that was fun. That was really good. In the aftermath to that, we got confirmation that some of the 7 men in his place was dead. I don't know these two people. Like, I guess the drunken uh guy die, and maybe the other guy from the horse that he couldn't walk. I I don't know who they confirmed that were killed. Like, they didn't show me the bodies. So so two men from his 7 nights, like two of them die in his side. Dunk pledges like, to Berlard, the Targaryen, right? And then, of course, his two friends, was it the armor maker, and the other one, the peasant, like help Berlard to remove his helmet. At first, it was very weird. He was acting really strange. Maybe he got hit by like like when you get like hit really hard in your head, you're not gonna be, you know, um, like focused as you usually are. But then we discovered that uh, one of the opposing side struck him with a mace during the trial, revealing a fatal room, which he collapses from his injury and dies in Dunk's arms, which upsets Dunk because now he lost another, like, like a father figure that he kind of thought he was gonna get from the Targaryen there. And that's how we end the episode. So that was like our last name for this episode. So let me get to you, Jeff. What do you thought about the end point of this episode? Do you like it? Go ahead.
Wow, sir. You really very quickly
I know
did
it's
that episode. I know it was a short episode, and you're working off of the Wikipedia or whatever. But
yeah.
that was very not typical of you as a moderator. So you only got 2 questions out of that fucker. So but hey, whatever. I enjoy shorter live streams with you guys, just like the longer ones. So anyways, yeah, I mean, hey, I guess that's a reality, right? Of unfortunately, that's the double-edged sword of even really good TV shows, even from HBO. When the episode's only honestly how long was this episode, guys? Does anybody know? 35 minutes or something, probably, right?
Something like that. I wish they had.
37.
Yeah, 37, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's 37 minutes. So all right, so if you take out the credits, right, from the episode, like that means overall the episode was only 32 minutes long, right? So honestly, that's why we're having these really short recaps, doing this show, because honestly, you can't talk on a live stream about a TV show for 2 hours. We only get 31 minutes during episode. So as much as I have a lot of praise for this show, I do, and I have a lot of positive things to say about the middle and end portions of episode 5. I very much would have appreciated another 15-20 minutes at least of episode 5. Honestly, I don't understand and don't know really. Honestly, I don't quite get why they suddenly decided to have this show in season 1 be episode 1 be 50 minutes and then every episode after be 30 minutes an episode. It's just very weird for HBO to be doing episodes like that of a show. Honestly, Game of Thrones was an hour, 55 minutes an episode, as a standard deal. So, with this being a Game of Thrones spin-off show, just like House of Dragon, from what I remember, right? Your expectation would be, an hour-long episode from a show like this. So I'm just a little bit baffled, honestly. That's my one critique, I guess. Not complaint, really, but critique about the production and creation of this show. It's just that I don't grasp or get why in an already 6-episode first season of this show, I don't see how they're benefiting, making the show better or giving the best light of the show or version of the show, at 35 minutes or 31 minutes an episode, you know, especially a 5th episode in a 6-episode season of a show, you know. Normally that episode 5, is always a longer episode, you know, that sets up the finale. So I'm just a little bit, you know, confused about that. But yeah, I mean, you know, hey, what can I say? The this you know, Night of the Seven Kingdoms depiction of you know, real life looking you know, world that they're doing in this show, you know, with, you know, the look of everyday life that people are living on the show. When we do see that you know, that sort of deal on the show, it's well done. You know, just like the fighting, the combat, the battle scenes, the you know, the chivalrous, you know, sort of you know, combat that they have in this show. They're really, really, really you know, killing it, you know, overall when it comes to how they're producing and pulling off this version, I guess, of you know, of this sort of trope that they're giving us in this show. They're really doing a great job. It looks outstanding, you know, but that's a common critique or a common comment that you're going to hear from me when it comes to covering HBO shows overall, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, again, anytime you see a young girl get her throat slit and murdered in a show or a movie or whatever, hey man, you know, I guess, you know, hey, hats off, you know, for you know, wanting to go that hardcore, that overkill, you know, to do that in the show, in an episode. You know, that's a ballsy move, but it's definitely like very sad to see that shit happen, you know, even though it's fake, it's depressing. I don't enjoy seeing 12-year-old girls, you know, being, you know, threatened to be raped, you know, and having their throats slit, you know. I would not want to be a girl in this reality world they live in the show. It's not a fun life for girls, you know. Anybody who watched Game of Thrones knows that, right? You know, right, Andres, the women on Game of Thrones have a lot of bad things happen to them, you know. So you know, I mean, the battle scene, the you know, the tournament, the 7, you know, the 7-on-7 combat deal, right? That was very, very, very quick. That's one thing I'll say. I was a little bit shocked at how quick that all went down. I thought it would be a longer, more extended sort of, you know, final battle, sort of, battle sort of, you know, scene sort of deal than what we got. Honestly, I thought there'd be more going on with it. But what they gave us was great. It looked really, really, really cool. It looked really, really scary, you know, and very, you know, nerve-wracking to, you know, to imagine experiencing, you know, that sort of like combat like that. It's very scary, you know, and very dangerous, you know, and I definitely appreciate very much how they allowed Donk to really, really, really get fucked up and get wounded and get hurt really bad in that fight. You know, I thought that was very, very, very good for the show and for Donk as a character that they did that. I like that. I think that's very realistic. You know, for what actually would happen for a dude if you experienced, you know, this sort of combat that they had back then. That was a real, a real world, real life, reality. Unfortunately, that it was very violent and very brutal, and honestly, the prince or whatever he is, that asshole guy, right? That likes to violently fucking abuse women and shit, and all that. He really got lucky, bro, that he survived that whole ordeal. I was really shocked that they allowed him to live, in that episode. Honestly, I thought he was done. When Donk picked up that shield, his shield, right, and started hitting him with the shield, I honestly would have bet $20 that that was it for him. When somebody fucking hits you with a shield in movies or whatever, normally you don't live after. So that was surprising. But it was good. I mean, I like that the prince lived and survived the deal. I liked it. Even though he is a total fucking jerk and asshole, and it would have been cool to see him die. It was good. I liked that he survived, and it played out well that he ended up being the reason to end the fighting. That was really, really good. I like that. That was well done. Well planned in the episode, I mean, hey, again, the production level in this show, is so authentic and so realistic, to what, you'd imagine, historically, it actually felt and looked and was like and experienced what it was like to be, in combat, or live in this reality of this sort of historical time period in this show, they're doing it really, really well in this show. HBO does a great job. And, it's just, hey, it's very, very similar to Game of Thrones, this show's different than Game of Thrones, but it's succeeding and winning in a lot of the same ways as a show that Game of Thrones, did, I think. I really, 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 really also did very much enjoy the scenes with young Donk fouling that knight that raised him. I thought that was a great sort of short, part of the episode that I really, really liked. Overall, I also did at the same time feel bad for young Donk. Hanging out, starving and shit, just following that night, with no other, possible way of living. But thank God, eventually at some point, the night guy finally saw his ass and helped him, that's good because Donk was hurting, in episode 5 there, in that part of the episode, he was not doing well after that guy stabbed him in the leg. He was definitely fucked up and sick and like dying. Yes, that was very positive. I really enjoyed and liked seeing the knight finally see him and decide to help him. Overall, nothing but positive 10 out of 10 type of things to say about this show and about episode 5. Hats off and kudos to all the actors in episode 5, that were so outstanding. Those child actors were so great. Hats off and kudos to whoever the guy is that plays the uncle, that really, really unfortunately fucking dies at the end of episode 5. He was a really, really fun, cool character for a minute, in this season of the show. It will be a major loss, overall, at least so far through season 1 for the show, unfortunately, having him gone and dead. because I would have liked seeing more of him and more with him happening in the show, honestly. So it's sad seeing him go, but hey, the way he died, with that fucking crazy, fucked up looking hole in the back of his head, that was really, really, really brutal and cool to see. So he had a great death, I loved watching him slowly die, it's that very typical, real life situation where somebody gets like mortally, fatally wounded in war or combat, right? But crazy, as crazy as it is, it takes 5 minutes or whatever for the person to die, So they're alive for 5 minutes or whatever, and then all of a sudden that fucking hole in the back of their head or whatever finally kills them, So again, very very good, well done, shit. But it'll be sad to see that character go. I liked him so far, in season 1. He was good. So yeah, all good shit, all good, well done, scenes and everything, for episode 5 that we're talking about right now. And yeah, I guess I'll throw it over to Cyber.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I agree. You. Who was that Targaryen? Baelor?
It's tough, sir.
Yeah.
It would just be in season 1 of the show, everything, it takes a while to get acquainted with the names.
The names, yeah, it's really tough. No, I agree you about him. He's definitely my favorite Targaryen. I really like that he's like the most nicest of the Targaryens, we've seen so far. And I was really sad that we lost him. It was really tragic.
Hey, honestly, it's what can you expect from an HBO type show? A Game of Thrones type show, right? You sort of have to expect cool characters to die.
Yeah, that's kind of true. But thank you for get us to the next person, Cyber. Your thoughts on the finale of episode 5? Go ahead, it's all yours. It's your floor.
All right. So basically going from our end point of the backstory to the end of the backstory, it's pretty fucked up what happens. I mean, that girl gets her throat slit, as Jeff had mentioned, which is really sad. You're just like, what? You're like, I can't believe that. And at the same time, you're like, you got to think to yourself, well, yeah, he's got to have a horrible life for him to end up where he's at. So, that ends up happening. And then the knight that ends up taking him in, making him his squire, ends up coming to his aid and battling those guys and killing them. And I was like, all right, that was interesting. Why was he helping him out? I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like, this guy actually is kind of a good guy. Like, I was like surprised. And, the fact that he did that, I think was, 100% like just a really great scene. And that action sequence was really great. I thought the sword fighting was great and everything like that. It was just really well done and just really enjoyable. And then when it brings us back to, to present, Doug finally kind of wakes up, and after, he follows the night guy for a while, and he ends up, like collapsing. He's like, get up. And he actually gets up in time. You're like, oh, okay, we're getting back to the action finally. And like the action starts going on. And then he just starts getting his ass kicked. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I'm like, this is pathetic. I'm like, come on, give a better fight than that, Dunk. I'm like, I was like literally getting angry about it because I'm like, this is stupid. I hate when they do that, where they have the good guy like be crappy and then all of a sudden come out of nowhere and be good. I'm like, no, that's stupid. Why don't you just have him be good, have it be a good fight throughout the whole entire thing? Otherwise, the other guy just like slaying him so easily all the time, you're like, he's gonna win. So I thought that, that could have been better. But overall, I think that it was a great fighting sequence. I think there was a lot of great action there. But him getting stabbed all the time and stupid shit like that just was very aggravating and just stupid. I was like, come on, this is just ridiculous. And, he like keeps surviving it. And you're like, he's basically dead, and he gets up off the ground after collapsing. You're like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm sorry. If he was that badly injured, he would have been dead. You know, like he said, what after he like gets sliced in the leg, the Targaryen guy, and I'm like, yeah, no, he's not dead. This is stupid. This cannot be happening. And so he gets up, you know, because Ed keeps, you know, saying, get up, Squire, get up, Squire, get up, Squire. And just kind of like, okay. And like it gets up, you're just like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, all right, make this portion better than the first portion, please. And he gets up and he starts fighting again, and he's like kicking ass. And this time, he, you know, he's kicking ass and he beats the crap out of the guy, and he spares his life, of course. You know, which this guy deserves to, you know, basically just be taken out because he's a dick. And it's like, oh, he's spared. I'm like, oh, well, you're a better man, Dunk. You're a better man. But like, he's all beat up. He takes his helmet off and stuff like that. We see his eye swollen because there's one part, if you remember in the fight, when he's getting beat up real bad, the sword goes into his mask hole, into his eye hole. So that I think that's why his
Cyber. Yeah, good point.
That's why his eyes all messed up. And I'm like, it looked like the sword went in there and punctured his eye, not made it swollen. I'm like, okay, I don't get why it's just swollen. That made no sense, but whatever. And I was like, okay. But then, you know, he like, you know, comes out victorious, and you're like, oh, okay. But, you know, pretty much he's not victorious because he loses several people that were helping him out. And then, of course, you know, they pull him back to check out his wounds and shit. And then the Prince Knight guy comes in, and he's like, you're like, shit, what's gonna happen with this guy? And then they take his helmet off, and half like his part of his head is gone. And I was like, oh man, seriously, come on. And that you like Andres mentioned, they briefly mentioned some other people didn't make it, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to finish this up, just before we came on. So I was like, I'm like, who? I'm like, oh man, we killing a whole bunch of people off. I'm like, oh, that's so Game of Thrones. That's so Game of Thrones. Damn them. And I was like, seeing that guy, that one Prince guy be dead, I was like, oh man, his one true friend that stood up for him. I'm like, oh, you gotta kill him. No. It's kind of like how, like when Jon Snow originally got killed in the original series and then comes back to life, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, oh, you're killing off Jon Snow? No. So, you know, it's kind of that. It was that same thing with this guy. I was like, oh, man, like, seriously? Like, this is the guy. And, like, as Jeff had mentioned earlier, you know, say that's HBO for you. They kill off some of your good characters. And, like, there you go. There you go. And it's like, oh, come on, HBO, take another route. Don't kill off some of the good people. But yeah, that was kind of sad. You're just like, and then Doug starts like saying, I'm sorry. You're just like, oh man, pull on the heartstrings there, bro. And that's how the episode ends. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, because I'm literally watching, you know, the fighting sequence, and I was like, kind of like sitting there going, like, why is he not fighting good? Why is he not fighting good? But I still think the choreography and the fighting there was really done well. The action sequence is done really beautifully. Thought the look and everything was on point. All the other knights fighting and shit was really cool. The lancing and all that kind of stuff was awesome. You know, I mean, you had Egg there rooting and shit like that, which was fun. And, you know, I think that overall, you know, getting back to the action was really great and fun, and super enjoyable. And as Jeff had mentioned earlier, it was nice to see more about that the knight that was, you know, Duncan's, you know, squire, and that he squired for. And it just was, you know, very interesting, very well done, really well thought. I thought great writing, you know, to a par that was decently done. And I think that, you know, other than hit Duncan his butt kick for a good portion, I thought that fighting sequence was really done well and really enjoyable. So I thought this, you know, this episode just was action packed and fun. I wish it had been just all that, but overall, I think that it did a good job and gave us this interesting story, but at the same time, gave us some really great action, which unfortunately had some casualties. But yeah, really fun. really great portion of the episode.
No, thank you, Cyber. Yeah, I was watching this before, before I knew I was going to moderate the show tonight, and I was just watching it, and then I had the subtitles, and then I was like, wait a minute, who's these two people? Because like, as Jeff said before, like it's like, I mean, like what I like about House of Dragon and the original show Game of Thrones, like I remember the characters. You brought up Jon Snow, right? Like I remember his death, and it's so good. And my issue with the show, if we have more episodes, we have more time to spend with these characters, and care about them and their deaths, because I didn't like that we confirmed these two characters that I barely remember in this season, like off screen, by the way, which I hate. And I agree with you brought up before, like yeah, like all of a sudden Dunk was very inexperienced, like we like I was just so surprised that after that, like he started to get the hang of it, which is weird. But I mean, he's very strong. I mean, he is a tall guy. So, but yeah, I kind of agree on your criticism of Dunk hasn't experienced this type of like fighting slash tournament, right? And then all of a sudden he's able to get up and get the groove of it, which was kind of weird. So anyway, that's my thoughts here. Anyway, let's get into ratings. Stick with you, Cyber. What's your rating for this episode? Is it a 10 out of 10, or is it really low? I'm very curious about this one. Go ahead. Hopefully Cyber heard me.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ted, no worries. Your rating, sir. Is it a 10 out of 10 or much lower?
I will give this episode an 8 out of 10. Just because like I said, the Dunk fighting was crappy until the end. And then I just thought, having that kind of backstory in the middle of the fighting was not really great for the episode. So I'll have to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. Jeff, your rating, sir.
Yeah, I'd say overall that I'm very much in agreement with Cyber when it comes to the ratings this week, because honestly, as much as I loved episode 5 overall, it has so many things going on that I also, as much as I liked it, that I'm against, that I don't like, overall too. Things like the length of the episode, like Cyber said, the donk, 7 versus 7 combat, scenes, were not all that they could have been. Honestly, they were not. So I think it's very reasonable to give episode 5 something more along the lines of, maybe I'll go not an 8, but like an 8.5 with my rating this week, Andres. Because it was a really good episode, but I cannot give a 31-minute long episode of this show a 10. I'm sorry, I can't. Like Cyber said, yeah, again, how the fuck did Donk get stabbed in the eye, right? At one point, and then he ends up with like a swollen or whatever, covered up eye or whatever out of that stabbing or whatever, that's very strange, honestly, when he took his helmet off, honestly, I don't know about you, Cyber, but I honestly expected him to take his helmet off and for him to like have an eye out or something, like having lost an eye or whatever, that's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, wow. Like, I was like, that's surprising, like they're actually going to have him fucking like get like, have his eye fucking cut out or whatever, like right off the bat in season 1 with the main character on the show. I was like, wow. But then, I don't know, magically, that stabbing in the eye or whatever turned into, swollen eye. So, that was strange. That's one sort of negative critique, again, for episode 5, is that stuff like that's very confusing for me. When that stuff like that happens, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So I don't like that. It doesn't make sense, right? So, but overall though, the violence, the gore stuff that they've done, they did in episode 5 and in this show overall, is honestly very impressive and really, really well done, and super high level production, going on, right? And it's very, very, very surprising that TV in 2026, has this level of production and violence and blood and gore, going on in a TV show, not a movie, but in a TV show, right? That they're pushing boundaries, with stuff like that, with combat scenes and, fight scenes and things like that in television. It's hey, it's crazy, man. Whoever would have thought back in the 90s that you'd have shows now, coming out, TV shows coming out that are pulling off movie level, beyond movie level violence and combat scenes and battle scenes and stuff like that, that are literally rival movies, right? Just I don't want to go on and on, but it's just very surprising that the TV industry has evolved like that to that extent. It's interesting and fun to talk about. As a topic that change in TV. That they're going to that level. With the production and all that. It's it's expensive and well done and looks great, and I'm glad that they're doing it in Night of Seven Kingdoms. I think really well done, authentic looking violence and death scenes and fighting and stuff like that always is good for a show, and a movie. So yeah, sir.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything what you say, sir. All right, so my rating is kind of similar to Cyber. It's tough. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a good episode, not as good as last week's episode. I think this one was a kind of a step down. I thought the tournament sequence was really good, but I kind of wish we had the whole episode being a tournament thing, not the flashback. And I think that was the most frustrating thing. It felt like a very cheap way to make this episode not too expensive for them to do. And so they made this excuse to do the flashback so that they don't have to spend so much. Because when you do those tournament things, it's a lot of money and a lot of time. And so I was kind of disappointed they didn't put the effort and time and money to do this huge epic tournament scene, because I dug that in the couple episodes we get in the Game of Thrones or House of Dragon. It's always exciting. And we got this episode that was half and half, and that was half tournament flashback, and then last episode, half of the episode is a tournament, and then it's the wrap up, and it's
Yeah,
and
you're right, Andres. I agree with you 100%. It's not cheap. To produce these super high level historical combat scenes that they have on Game of Thrones and Night of Seven Kingdoms. But I would say though, honestly, Andres, that when it comes to the budget on stuff compared to Game of Thrones and compared to this show, it's probably got to be cheaper overall to pull off, these night, jousting sort of scenes, right? Versus, the all out battle scenes in Game of Thrones, those are got to be really expensive.
Yeah, no.
Those big 500 extras, sort of, massive battle war scenes they have in the Game of Thrones, those are expensive.
No, it's very expensive, and it looks good. And I mean, this this series is not, I say cheap. It's still an expensive show, but I can understand that maybe it just wasn't feasible for this season. Maybe hopefully next season we'll get a epic tournament. Some point.
It costs a lot of money to build and produce and create all the backgrounds and all the buildings and stuff and everything that depict the town, in the show, right? That's not cheap either.
No, No, it isn't. And no, good point bringing that up. But yeah, it's not cheap to do that. But yeah, so that's my rating for the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this moderation and this awesome episode discussion. I'm Andres Diaz, your moderator. So now I'm going to hand it into Jeff to like plug us out and what we have for our channels and this week. Of course, Friday we got another movie review. It's by Cyber, so very excited. Jeff will explain more what's our next movie review for Friday. So Jeff, what? Damn it, Cyber. Damn it.
No, okay, Andre, sir, you're allowed to talk about the movie that we're doing on Friday, sir. It doesn't have to be me, but that's fine.
I mean, it's the Gorge, folks. It's the Gorge, the horror sci-fi film, I guess, by Scott Derrickson, who did the first Doctor Strange movie, and he did the Black Phone films, if you know. Those.
Oh, okay, awesome. I did not know that Derrickson is the one that did the Black Phone films. I didn't know that.
No, yeah, he directed those. He did the
Sinister.
first one. And Sinister, yes, thank you. He did that as well.
Oh, Derrickson did Sinister? I love Sinister.
Yeah, he did the first one. Really good. Really good. All right,
yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, most definitely. I never watched those Black Phone movies, but they look they look a little bit like I don't know, this maybe okay, but I heard. I mean, they look interesting at least, right?
They're very good. They're like a really great like horror movies. Like they're like the darkest we have so far in terms of horror cinema. It's really good. I think you will like it, Jeff.
If you like Sinister, you'll like the first Black Phone.
Yeah. Did you see the second one, Cyber? I
Yes, I loved it.
Right,
it's not some deal where the whole movie is literally just some guy in a phone booth for 2 hours being terrorized, is it?
No,
it's more than that.
okay, because that was my concern. So
no, this isn't Phone Booth with Colin Farrell from 2003, sir.
That's good, Cyber. I'm glad that you brought that up, sir, because Phone Booth from 2003, sir, is a terrible, terrible, awful movie.
I love that movie.
Really? You don't like that movie?
Hold on. Let me reset that. Let me apologize. I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe it's not terrible, but it's just not my deal. I found it very, very, very boring and simple as a film.
Okay, I can understand it somewhat, but it's a really good movie. I like it. It's a great showing for who is it? Colin Farrell's acting, because that was really like important for his career. And it's a great Joel Schumacher film. I love that. So maybe one day we'll do a movie review, and I will see how it's kind of different for you now. But it's a really good thriller film.
Unfortunately, honestly, overall, when Colin Farrell became a very in-demand actor in Hollywood many years ago, a lot of the films he made were not all that great overall.
Yeah, there was inconsistent, but like there were one or two that was really good. But yeah. So
I like him as an actor. I'm just saying overall, when you look at his filmography or whatever, a lot of films that he's been in were not all that great. They weren't well received or anything like that. Unfortunately, that's just a reality with him.
Yeah. But now he's doing a better job. He's doing more like better movies, I have to say. But it's just not your type. That's the thing.
So some of the stuff that they casted him in the movies were just not that awesome or that great. Unfortunately, I don't blame him necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I just honestly have not seen him in a lot of really great films.
Yeah, we need to change
compared to other actors out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, I don't want to beat the guy up as an actor. I just don't remember him having a lot of well done or, money making or, popular films overall.
Yeah. He thankfully he slowed down and, made better career decisions, I have to say. And that was for the best. But we're not here to, discuss Colin Farrell's filmography,
unfortunately for him, he just never.
We're here to do plugs.
Yeah,
he never got cast in any kind of franchise of films or anything like that during the 2000s, or had that advantage of getting cast in something like that, some trilogy or whatever,
Yeah, yeah. He was rumored for a lot for those like potential franchise. Like, he was either considered to be Batman in the mid 2000s before Batman Begins, and then either Superman. It was like that, but instead he's been playing villains. Like he played Bullseye in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, and then obviously recently he's been playing been good, and
his depiction of Bullseye in that movie is terrible. Terrible.
Fuck you, Steve from Bumble. Fuck you.
It literally, it's honestly, it's repulsive. That movie should stop existing.
I kind of agree. I guess I don't know.
Come on, Andre. Everybody knows that the Daredevil films are absolutely hot garbage.
Yes, yeah. I mean, no. The Ben Affleck Daredevil movie is not good, but there's some things I like. I mean, I like the late great Michael Clark Duncan. He was a good Kingpin. I like him but the other stuff is like, yeah, take it, leave it. Anyway, hello guys.
The casting of Ben Affleck as Daredevil is about as good as a fit as getting fucked in the ass by a man.
Oh my god, Cyber. Please, we need to clip this. This is funny. Anyway, let's get back to the plugs. All right. If you want to check out my channel, Andreas Pop Culture Channel Presents, I got a couple new things here. You can check out my Deadpool 10th Anniversary Tribute. You can check out my Thunderbolt retrospective review. I made my top 10 Joker, Cesar Romero moments to his birthday that kind of happened in February 15, so you can check that out. Plus a good, added addition to the 60th anniversary of Batman 66. Then I post a clip here from WandaVision where Scarlet Witch, Wanda becomes Scarlet Witch. Tonight I'm working on my top 8 Robert Devell moments. Sadly, we lost another major, Titan, Robert Devell. If anyone knows who he is, he was in many great iconic films. Of course, he's best known as the lawyer in the first 2 Godfather part films, which, of course, the MCU Bleeding Edge had review a couple years ago, so that's good. And he was in other great films like Falling Down. He's really great in that, and like so many great films and shows as well. He did one called The Lonesome Dave or something like that. One of the Western shows, really good. Really sad he passed. So I'm working on that to like honor him. He was always a great actor. I always like. Oh, and Apocalypse Now, he was in that. So please check out my short reviews where I'm doing a couple Deadpool related clips, but also reviews. I recently reviewed The Traitors season 1. If this is like a TV reality game show. Really funny, really crazy. If you have Peacock, it's a really fun show, so you can check that out. Me and my mom just recently wrapped up season 2, so expect that in the coming weeks. Yeah. So that's where I am. I'm gonna work on my Fallout season 2 review as well. I forgot to put that out. This Sunday, I got Scream up. That's going to be our next live stream review for February because the new Scream movie is coming out on Friday the 27th. So I'm going to review the first film, and the good news, the first film is has its 30th anniversary, so great coincidence to like celebrate that. So let's honor that film. Very excited that we got a new Scream movie, so I'm very excited. Joining me on Sunday, as I think you guys maybe saw on Instagram, the room upstairs is going to join me. So we're going to have a couple guest stars, which is great. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Thank you, everyone. Very happy that I moderate this week's Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and I'll see you guys soon on Friday for the Gorge Cyberspec, which is good.
The Gorge.
The Gorge.
The Gorge.
Mm-hmm. Will the Gorge be better than the Long Bus?
I don't know.
We need to see.
You have to wait to see.
It can't be that hard to be good enough to be better than the Long Bus. The Long Bus is not an epic Oscar contending film.
No.
I mean, no, I mean it's different. Type of movie. So we'll see. We'll see.
America Ferrera is not a super talented actress or anything like that. She's
Hot D.
yeah. America Ferrera is very replaceable when she's in a film.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
Nothing against her, I'm sure Ugly Betty was fantastic.
I haven't seen Ugly Betty. I liked her in Barbie. She was good. Just saying.
All right, guys. So, if you enjoyed me on the panel, or if you enjoy me as a moderator here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, you can check my solo content out under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube, which is my home base. But you can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, X, Patreon, pretty much any social media platforms you can check out. As you see there, my most recent review is for the film Greenland 2, The Migration. And then also my most recent trailer reaction is for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which comes out in April. If you haven't seen either of those, definitely give those a whirl. Really fun reviews, really fun trailer reaction, really fun stuff. So check that out. Migration was a really great film. I enjoyed it. Thought it was, a great accompaniment to the first one. If you saw it back in 2020, very good film. So definitely check that out. I'll be having more stuff up there soon. Anyways, if you haven't looked at my shorts recently, you can see my most recent is Tyler Perry's Joe's College Road Trip. Super funny film. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Really funny. It's the first film we've got where Joe is a main character. He's like the main star. So give that a whirl. Pretty funny film. Also, you can see I have my Send Help and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Many reviews there too. If you haven't seen either of those, give those a whirl too as well. I'll be having more stuff up, like I said, for you guys soon. So keep your eyes out for that good stuff. And also, I got to shout out the late, great Tom Noonan, who also passed away this week. He was a great character actor who you might recognize from the bad guy in RoboCop 2. You might also recognize him as Frankenstein from the Monster Squad. And he was also in Eight-Legged Freaks as the weird collector of bugs and shit that the kid went and saw. So if you're a huge Tom Noonan fan, definitely check out some of the stuff to honor him this week. He passed away on the 14th, a day before Mr. Duvall. And he will be missed. He was a great character actor. He was really fun. He was also in Last Action Hero too, as well as a villain.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
So definitely check out any of his works if you haven't seen it. Great character actor. But yeah, gotta shout out everyone out there. Thank you for watching us here. Keep on watching us. Keep on watching our solo content. We appreciate it. Keep subscribing, all that good stuff. And we appreciate you.
There you go, Cyber. It's always wonderful and positive to have you mentioning the classic, unfortunate deaths of classic film actors and things of that nature. Always a bonus addition, sir, to the live stream and to my experience, sir. Sadly, we are losing and going to lose a lot of very loved and very popular and well-known actors and actresses in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It's a reality.
No. That's fortunately true.
Anyways, folks, again, we're back as a squad, as a team on Friday evening for the Gorge with Cyber moderating. It's his pick. So I'm sure it'll be a epic fucking experience. Live streaming the Gorge recap. It's going to be fucking intense.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Gorge will be fucking intense as a film. We'll have to see.
Yep.
Some chick fucking, I don't know, being a fucking commando soldier or some shit or whatever, and some dude doing the same thing, together with some fucking Gorge.
Yeah.
So,
the actress from New Mutants who played Magic, she's in this movie. And
yeah, I saw that.
Okay, awesome. And Mr. Fantastic, the 2015 version, is there too.
I'm very curious as to what sort of the version of this sort of trope of the two soldier secret agent the girl and the guy deal where they team up or whatever and fight bad guys or fight creatures or some shit. It'd be interesting to see how they do it in that movie.
True. Yeah, I'm very curious about it. Yeah.
What's his name? Miles. What's his name?
Miles Taylor. Yeah.
Teller or whatever is in that movie.
Teller.
And, yeah, he's pretty solid.
Oh no, he's good. I like him. He was great in Top Gun Maverick.
His window sort of closed, unfortunately. So it's good to see him. Getting roles and being cast. Still.
Yeah.
That window can be very short sometimes.
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Anyways, so thanks to Cyber for being here tonight, and thanks to Andre's Pop Culture Guy for being here, doing a great job moderating, folks.
No problem. No problem.
We love being on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and recapping the game, the Night of Seven Kingdoms is pretty dope. So we appreciate everybody out there. God bless you, and peace out to all three of us. We are out.